Good evening. Let's start with a very simple exercise today as you join. Tell me in the comment section, what is the one idea you've been having in your mind for the past 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3, 4, 5 years, 10 years? What is that one idea that you have had? It could be a business idea. It could be an impact idea, something that you've always wanted to do, you love to do, but you haven't been able to bring it to life. You haven't been able to do it. Type in the comment section, and then I would like to use your practical examples to coach you this night as to what to do. So tell me, what is one idea that you really would like to see happen that hasn't happened yet? So while I wait for your responses, hello Joseph Okechi, how are you? That's from Libya, I remember. Chinazo, thanks for joining. Helen, good evening. All right, MF Miaba, all right. So good evening. Hello, Anthony Chibogo. All right. So as you join, tell me, what is one idea you've had? It could actually also have been like a childhood dream, because sometimes, we generate an idea or a dream or a desire when we are really young, but somehow the school system kills that idea. But then all of a sudden it just springs up from nowhere again. And that is an idea that is worthy of you, that wants to. So tell me, what is one idea you have been having for a long time? You want to bring it to life. And I'm going to tell you how to make it happen, so that this year will be the final year that you'll carry that idea in the womb of your mind and not manifest it. Because the most important gift, the most important skill of all time, in all generations past and generations to come, the most important skill is not IT skill, it's not software programming, it's not marketing skill, it's not engineering skills. The most important skill is not acting skills, it's not content creation skills. The most important skill is the skill to turn an invisible idea to its physical equivalent, to manifest a desire that you have, an invisible desire that you've had in your heart, a passion, to bring it to life. Do you know how powerful that really is? To think about something and then to be able to implement it. Do you know how powerful that really is? Do you know how powerful it is that I sat down and thought about what would it be if I had only 1,000 days to live, and I have to teach the world some valuable lessons? What would it be? And I came up with these 3 ideas. Number 1, to teach people financial freedom, because I discovered that people do well in many areas of their lives, because it happened to me. But they struggle financially, and people struggle financially for the rest of their lives. Good people, honest people, good people, bad people, everybody. So I said, okay, I would like to teach the world what I have learned over the past 59 years about money, how to make it, how to manage it, and how to multiply that. And then the second thing I said I was going to teach the world is business skills. Why? Because entrepreneurship holds the key to eliminating poverty in communities and countries in different places. And then so many people do not have business. Many people actually, I could say 95% of the people just start a business, no skills. They have an idea, they start a business. And then many people have not had the opportunity to go to a business school. Even though having an MBA is not a guarantee that you can run a business, but it does help a little bit. So few people just have an idea and then they start a business. They go rent a shop somewhere, put some inventory in it, and then voila, business has started. And then they start experiencing challenges and difficulties, like the young woman who was crying that her restaurant business is so overwhelming because there's no electricity. The fish, the prawns, and the things she had in the freezer were going bad, and then she was really crying. But what I saw there is not typical. It's not typical. I mean, sorry, it's typical. It's not limited to her, but because she doesn't have business skills, it's a big problem. So I said I would teach business skills. And then number 3, I said I'm going to start a movement for the renaissance of family life and family values, of marriage, because I'm alarmed that people get married in this generation. They get married on Saturday. By Monday, they're already discussing divorce. And so we have so many broken homes. We have so many single mother, single parent problem all over the place. And so we have children who do not grow up in a nurturing, loving home. And that increases the problems in the society. They say that 90-something% of people, like 95-97% of the people in prisons in America, where they did the research, over 95% of the men, they had no father figure. So these are the things I decided. And would you believe that so we started August 1, 2024. So that's August, September, October, November, December, January, February. This is March. 30 times 8 months. That's like 240 days. I'm here talking to you for free. And that's why when you go to YouTube replay, you'll see over 550 videos. Isn't that powerful? Coming up with an idea and then executing it against all odds. Against all odds. You think it is easy to do this and to be consistent every day, speaking to people around the world. So the most powerful skill is that skill that allows you to bring your idea to life, to give it expression. Okay, so I have some people have shared their old ideas. All right, so Joseph said, I have always had a great passion for fish farming from childhood, but I have not been able to start, and it is really my desire to start. Okay, very good. So to start a fish farm. And Lucas is watching from Zambia. All right. Lucas says, thank you so much for changing my thinking. I will always appreciate you, sir. Oh, you are very welcome, and thank you for letting me know. Hello, Thato Ethano Musikili. Oh, I love your name. Where are you joining us from? Okay, and then Ice Prince. Let me know where you're joining us from, all of you. It's Immaculator. Okay. MF Miaba says, I have an idea that requires buy-in from multiple stakeholders to bring it to life. It's a tourism concept that needs support from the tourism department and the owners of tourism establishments. The challenge is, how do I get buy-in without prior experience in this space? Okay, I'm convinced by the idea and it solves the problem they've been struggling with for ages. However, it's a tough industry to crack, and it's predominantly dominated by whites. Okay, what country is this? Miaba? All right. Oh, Lucas, Zambia. Okay, Zambia, I beg your pardon. I thought I saw, what country did I think I saw? Yeah, Zambia. All right, Lucas is from Zambia. Okay, so Miaba, what you do with this sort of idea is you actually want to, because it sounds very, very like sophisticated, complicated. It's got so many moving parts. What you really want to do to bring an idea to life, the first thing is to simplify it. I'm going to take us through the 5 steps. We already covered steps 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to cover it again. But just a quick comment to yours. Ideally, you want to simplify the idea. And when you want to bring an idea to life, the ideas that easily come to life are those ideas that do not have lots of dependencies on other people. Lots of dependencies. And then for yours, so all these dependencies and all these buy-in can come in later. They may not have to come in at a particular time. But as you grow, you find that the buy-in begins to come. And then often, the buy-in that you're looking for comes when there is a tangible result. So right now is abstract. I give you for an example, for instance, Dangote, the richest man in the African continent. He literally is being begged by the government in Africa to come open up his industries, his factories, cement and all that in their countries. I remember that Cameroon called him, whether he has a concern in Cameroon or is doing something in Cameroon right now. But Dangote didn't always start like that. So he has a presence in Ghana. He has in Ethiopia. I don't know about Zambia, but you can tell me if Dangote in Zambia. It's in Zambia. He has, have I mentioned the Ethiopia? And I don't know if Dangote has a concern in South Africa as well. But I'm basically saying that right now, Dangote is at a point where everybody, he doesn't even need to go look for buy-in. Buy-in looks for him. So you build it over time. You build buy-in one success brick at a time. One proof at a time. One proof of a concept at a time. So what you want to ask yourself is like, what is the basic minimum I need to start? What's the basic minimum or component of this big idea that I can start and build? All right. So in software technology terms, it's called the minimum viable product. Because when you want to start the whole thing at a time, it can be very overwhelming and then it paralyzes you. But what part of tourism can you start? Okay. Can you start by promoting existing establishments, and then from there you build relationships and they get to know you. So promoting, there's already tourism in your country. Can you start with something as simple as a website, promoting them with an arrangement, with a sort of arrangement that, yeah, I'm going to promote, and if people come to visit, and then there are ways to tag, to know that maybe some kind of affiliate links or something for them to know that these people came from you. So if you start with something like that, it doesn't need any approval. So people already have approval. Then sometimes there are people who have approvals and they have license, but they do not have the time, the capital, the skills to start. So you can also find from people like that that already have those government consents. But by all means, simplify the idea and, just find what is the minimum part of this idea that you can start and build upon. So I hope that helps. All right. So Miaba is watching from South Africa. Okay, so I hope that helps. All right, Godwin is from Port Harcourt. Hello, Godwin. It's been a while. Finian, good evening. Good evening, Finian. Good to have you. Matilda Chishala, good to have you here. Where are you watching from, Matilda? Yeah, just let me know what country you're watching for. Hello, Umar Muhammad, I beg your pardon. All right, Doris. Okay. And Amoko Mensa. Very easy to know where you're watching from, Amoko. Good to have you. All right. So let me go through the steps to bringing your idea to life. How do you go from your ideas to a business, to income? in spite of all the odds, there are many odds. There's nobody who wants to start an idea, a business idea, who wants to set up a business from an idea that will not have obstacles. So obstacles are a fact of life. Please type that. Obstacles are a type of life, a fact of life. You're going to have it. And that is what makes entrepreneurs, because entrepreneurs are not frightened by obstacles. Remember the African proverb that says that the bulging eyes of the frog do not scare the bull or the cow from drinking from the pond. And that's exactly what entrepreneurs are. So if you can't solve problems, if you can't confront issues, then you are going to have issues setting up a business, because it's not for the faint-hearted. But it can be done, with the skills. So just to recap, to turn your ideas into a business, into a thriving income, the first step is to define. You can type it in the comment section as I'm mentioning them, so that those joining later can read it. So the first thing is to define the problem you solve. Every idea that must become a business must have a specific idea that they solve. Very specific, very clear, very easy to measure. For instance, the side business I started recently, food business, the problem is solving is the problem of contamination, food poisoning. There's just so much profit before people going on in the food system in our country. People are putting detergent in food that people eat. So people are eating, having all kinds of stomach issues, going to the hospital, cancers all over the place because of what people put in the meat, what they put in palm oil, what they put in the fufu, what they put in the plantain chips. I was shocked that people melt plastic. They melt plastic bags, inside the cooking oil that they used to fry the plantain. I was shocked. And they said that that's what actually makes it crispy. So people are eating those things and then their health is failing. And you're eating plantain chips. You don't know you're chewing plastics. And then people wonder why women they get married and then they no longer conceive. Couples struggle to have babies. Those plastics are disrupting hormones in the man's body, in the woman's body. And it's creating a lot of problems in the society. So that's the problem I set up to solve. I'm not selling food, because that's very important in converting an idea to a business. You've got to be very clear on the problem you are solving, and then your market, because that's what's going to galvanize your marketing, your sales, the kind of people you will attract in your business. So that's the first thing. Define the problem that your business is solving, that idea is solving. That's the value proposition. What is in it for people? Why should this business exist? A second step is to find and validate your first customer. Peter Drucker, the late Peter Drucker, management guru par excellence, said that the purpose of a business is to create and to keep a customer. Your customer is the business. Your customer is the business. And it just amazes me how people start a business and they never even think about who they are doing this for, because their eyes are on the money. So take your eyes off the money, put it on the customer, and the money will come. So find and validate your first customer. Make a list of 100 people, 50 people, and then you can start from friends or family. Sell, validate your first customer. That first sale is very important because it gives you the dopamine. It gives you that first sale. The businesses I've started, I can't tell you what that first sale did. Has anybody here also experienced it? You just had something and then that first payment, that first sale, is powerful. You know why? Because it is a validation that yes, this idea is actually worth pursuing, because when people begin to open their wallet to give you money, that is a miracle. I don't know what else you call a miracle, but that's miracles like that happen when your ideas are coming to life. Miracles happen when your ideas are coming to life, and the way you know that a miracle has happened is somebody opened their wallet and paid you that first customer. So do everything possible to get your customer and to validate it. All right. So the third step is to create a simple way to deliver your solution. All right. So in the business model canvas, we call it channels. All right. And then that also involves the key resources. So channels, how do people get to know you? That's awareness. Because if people don't know you, they can't do business, from you, with you. So people have got to know that your business exists. And there are so many ways people can get to know you these days. I am really fascinated by what many young women, especially Nigerian young women, and I think I've also seen some amazing South African women selling things on Instagram. There's no sort of thing that these precious women, young ladies, have not seen. People sell roasted snails, peppered snails. I've seen people selling snail. I've seen people selling, of course, fashion is that's the commonest one. People selling clothes, selling their fashion. I have seen people selling dried fish. So they get all these catfish, they cut them in pieces, dry them, and they're selling on Instagram. So gone were the days that you have to go to the television and pay millions of rand or cedis or naira or thousands of dollars to advertise your product. You have data and you have a smartphone that can take pictures, that can create videos. Simple way to deliver the solution, to let people become aware, to help them to make a decision, and also to deliver to them when they order for you. That is what business is about. You've got to be able to generate awareness, to capture leads, to take them through your sales funnel, your sales process, and then also to capture payment from them and to deliver it to them. So fortunately, I don't know if anybody has noticed how logistics is actually changing in Africa. Logistics 10 years ago in Africa was a huge mountain, such a huge challenge. But today I see people are sending things so easily from Jos to Cameroon. That is an incredible breakthrough, which it's easy to take it for granted right now. But before, did you know there were customers in Cameroon, but they want to buy, but there's just no way to buy, to even make payment. And then if they can even make payment, there's no way to send it to them. And you saw how PayPal demonstrated such wickedness against Africa. Up till now, if you have a PayPal account in Africa, you can give your own dollar. You can pay, but you can't receive payment. And then now we have Paystack, we have innovations like Flutterwave, and then people are able to pay in Tanzania for a product. They pay in their currency for a product in Ghana. That is amazing. This thing reminds me of a book I saw in the 1980s. The title of that book is The Prison Doors Are Open. What are you still doing in it? And that's the story for many African entrepreneurs. The things that used to be problems before are no longer there, but we're still in prison. So those things that stopped us before from being able to expand our markets. You are in South Sudan. So someone here is from South Sudan. I think I saw South Sudan. You're from South Sudan. You have things. that someone in Zambia needs, you can sell right now. You have something that someone in Nigeria needs, you can sell. Those obstacles to your receiving payment in your own currency from the Ghanaian market, from the Nigerian market, is already solved. So it's really, really amazing. So those obstacles are no longer there. In other words, you do not have any excuse, all right? So create a simple way to deliver the solution. Choose the easiest way to reach your audience: social media, WhatsApp, website. All right. Then define, for some of you, you just need a simple version, like what I was sharing with Miaba earlier. You need a simple version of your product, of your tourism product and service that you can launch within 30 days. Don't give yourself 1 year. If you do, you won't have that sense of urgency, to be able to make it happen. Okay. So step 4, which is the focus for today, we'll cover step 4 and then the final step 5 today. Because our live sessions are usually between Monday and Friday, and today is Friday, and we're going to continue with another series next week. So step 4 today is test and monetize. Please type it in the comment section. Test and monetize. Okay, so this is where you start giving considerations to your what is called cost structure and then revenue. And it is important to have profit in mind, to profit, to have a very, very comfortable, profitable margin that can allow you to run your business. When businesses are not making enough profit, it's going to be very hard to run that business. You see, when a plane is leaving, so let's say Johannesburg to London, did you know that that plane carries enough fuel to be able to go and come back if it doesn't have to stop somewhere to refuel? The plane has to carry enough fuel, not just tow, because something can happen mid-air and it needs to be able to return, or at least to be able to get to another base, another airport where the pilot is cleared to land. Why is that illustration important? It's the same thing, with business. So sometimes you're delivering something from one part of your country or from one country to the other, and then sometimes there could be returns. People can make returns. And then if you have a lot of returns, it can kill your business. So you've got to have a profit margin. First of all, of course, it's assumed that what you are selling is of very, very high value, that is valuable enough, and that you actually put a piece of yourself in it. The love, you did it with conscience. It's the best you could ever make. Now, so that's taken for granted. But then you would have some returns. So is your pricing such that if you ship and then they ship back the returns to you and then you have to change it, you will still remain profitable? Is somebody getting the importance of what I just dropped? Something that is golden, but some people might have missed it. So it is important to test and monetize. Price your offer properly. Price your offer in such a way that you have a good margin, and then also price it in such a way that that it reflects the customer's value, sense of value. And then you can also use the customer feedback to sort of strategize your pricing. I discovered that pricing is one of the biggest challenges for people starting, for people trying to monetize their ideas or bring their ideas to life. So a lot of business owners, small business owners, struggle with pricing. And pricing is not pricing is not it's not an external thing. Pricing is actually internal. Pricing is actually internal. Pricing is actually something happening in your head, not something happening in the market. So that many times, small business owners price themselves because they do not really believe as much in the value of their product and what they are giving to people. And of course, there will be price resistance. There'll be price resistance, but you've got to have confidence in your pricing, in the value of what you're giving. And you've got to be able to tell the story of your product in such a way that people will be willing to pay for it. I paid someone for coaching, someone in the US. Her name is Jennifer Deep Stratton. I paid her $500 a session for 8 sessions. 8 sessions. So that was $4,000. I paid her for 8 sessions, and then we're meeting every week over the phone, 1 hour, $500. And then the subject, it was just one subject, communicating your value. That's what I paid $4,000 for. Then I asked some of you to pay $100 to spend 3 days, talking about your financial fitness. And it's such a big problem for you. I'm not asking you to do what I don't do myself. I still have coaches. I still have people I pay to teach me. So I went through that coaching on communicating your value, because the biggest challenge you have with your pricing is that you are not communicating your value. You're not communicating your value very well. So somebody said, oh boy, your honey is very expensive. I can get it for 7,000. I can get it for 11,000. But the reason mine is 18,500, and you can't even sell your honey at that your 5,000 naira is I went through that coaching. So I know how to communicate my value, and to communicate the value in such a way that the client, receives it, something of high value, really loves it. In fact, tomorrow I think I will share some of the feedback people who have bought their honey are giving. It's just incredible. It's just incredible, So I communicate my value, and so I'm able to capture that pricing. But if you can't communicate your value, you cannot. Okay? So that is important. You test and then you monetize, Then the other thing about testing and monetizing in this step is that you need to give yourself sales targets, like monthly sales targets when you're starting, weekly sales targets, monthly. You're baking cakes and then selling, and then you're only capturing the cost of flour, of the eggs, of the sugar, of the icing, and all that and all that. But because you're living in your husband's house, and then he's paying utility, he sends his driver to you to take you to the market to buy things. So the cost of your the materials for your cake may be, let's say, 300 rands. Okay, so 300 rands for making that just the cost, the flour, the everything. Then now, when you finish making your cake, you sell it for, let's say, 400 or 350 rands. And then you'll be so happy. Oh, I made 50 rands in profit. No, you didn't. You didn't include the utility, the electricity. You didn't include the cost of the gas you used to bake. You didn't include the transportation, because it's your husband's official car, and then the driver. You didn't include it. So every time you sell your cake for 400 rands, you're actually losing money. So you've got to track your costs, and then keep your expenses minimal, and then take that into consideration in setting your pricing. Right. Then the final step 5, is to scale and to strengthen your business. So once you've established value, you've established a market, you've established customer, you've established that you are good in the market, then the next thing is to scale it. So identify what is working and do more of what is working. And then one of the things you really want to do, always find, even if you're starting alone, like a one-person cake making business or bread making business or something, or fashion designer, even if you're starting alone, it's always helpful to find, if you can't build a team yet, to find people that you can, growth-minded people that you can brainstorm with, that can help you look at your business and then give you some really very honest feedback. So identify what's working, do more of what's working, find partners, find suppliers who can help you to grow. So sometimes you may not be able to borrow money from the bank, but you can use what we call supplier funding. So you go to the supplier and say, oh, I want to grow my business, but I do not have this amount of capital to be able to acquire this inventory. So can you give me this amount of inventory? And then that amount of inventory can be, because your business is growing, it can be 10 times what you normally buy. And then you say, instead of me paying you the money right now, like I used to do for the small quantity, give me 30 days to pay you. So if you have a very good cash conversion cycle, in other words, you can actually turn over these raw materials, to profit within 3 days or 5 days, then you are very good. You're very good. So the supplier gives you the funding, and then you use it. You turn that thing around within 1 week, and you pay even before the 30 days. And then the supplier is able to give you more. So you find that you don't have to go to the bank if you can get a supplier. And then sometimes, like in the cake making business, I had a cake input supplier client. So he was supplying all the things, in fact, the equipment and then the bakery materials. That's their business. So what I'm saying is that it is possible to have one supplier that gives you everything, which is really good, instead of going to 7 different suppliers for all the 7 things that you use for making your cake. All right, is this helping somebody? Is this valuable to you? All right, so you find partners or suppliers who can help you to grow. Then the other thing is optimize how you deliver your product and service. So if you used to take, like, when we started, we were experimenting with 3 logistics companies. So one is extremely cheap, much cheaper. Okay, so and I don't want to mention the business name, but I'll mention the one that we're using. So one is very, very cheap. But then you will never know when your product is going to arrive. And then the product can arrive at their office, at their receiving office, the receiving town, and they will not call you, because it actually happened that we sent. So what we did was, when we started, we sent through one logistics company, GIG. GIG is very expensive. And then we sent with this other company. They were charging like 1/3 of what GIG was charging. Now, so somebody said, okay, I don't want to pay the GIG, send it through these people. So I now sent through GIG. The people received their palm oil under 2 days, under 48 hours. This other person did not receive his own for more than 3 weeks. I had even forgotten that we sent something to him. So 3 weeks later, I haven't received it. Say, what? We couldn't get these people. We couldn't get a phone to call them. We couldn't track the, whatever. And so that was terrible. And again, this is food material. I also saw the way they packaged it, plus the versus the way that GIG Logistics packaged it. And so we now had to optimize. I said, no, I'm not going to use this people, because one, I'm sending food materials, honey, fufu, palm oil. So you don't want to send it, and the thing is just driving around town or staying in one place where you have rats or something for 3 weeks, for 1 month. That's not good for my business, not even for the people. So now we said, no, it's got to be these people, this GIG logistics. So if you want to use those people, it's got to be your own arrangement, not our own official arrangement, because we found what is working and what is not working. So I said, listen, let these people deliver to your doorstep. It is more expensive, but it's very efficient. You can actually track your goods, and at the same time, it comes very well packaged and wrapped because it is food, and it comes to your doorstep. So optimize how you deliver your product or your service, and then grow your business. So don't be man alone. You need coaching. You need coaching. All of us who run, because one reason that many of our businesses are not growing is that we do not ask for help. So listen, I go to America often, and I interact with the businesses in the Western world. It's just incredible. These people go for conferences, they go for mastermind, small business owners. So if they are in the gas supply, domestic gas supply, whatever, I think government does that. I'm just giving the sort of thing. So, but if they are in one particular thing, like solar energy, solar panels, or solar installations, you'll find that there's an association. And then sometimes they have conferences, and they bring paid conferences, and they bring in people. They fly in people, experts, and then they teach them, they learn. These people have business coaches who help them. Because I was part of Billy Jeans' marketing. I don't know whether any of you has heard of him. He's based off San Diego. So Billy Jean is marketing. Ran a coaching program for $10,000. I paid. And I was among the people. And it was in that place I saw people who were doing solar, people who were doing hair, fashion, people who were doing all kinds of things, coaching. They were all coming to learn. But here in this part of the world, you don't. When people ask you, come up, join some learning, pay to learn to grow your business, because you need business skills. That's what it is. That's what the coaches do. They say, no, Isabel, they are motivational speakers. They want to take your money. And then you prefer to remain like that for 5 years than pay to grow your business. So that's part of step 5. Scale and strengthen your business. Because you can never grow your business past your knowledge or your skill level. And so when you know that your business has plateaued, it's because you've hit your limit, the limit of what you know. So you've got to upgrade your knowledge. You go to the business school where I teach. I have adjuncted in Lagos Business School. I've adjuncted in China Europe International Business School. And then in recent times, worked with the Stanford seed of the Stanford University. So I have seen businesses, I've helped lots of businesses. So that's how you grow and scale what you do. And in the meantime, we are enrolling for the Financial Fitness Challenge. And then part of what we do during the Financial Fitness Challenge is introduce you to the 4 different markets, because most of you are just working on one market. And I'm amazed how many people have no investments at all in the financial markets. It is scary that somebody could be 40 years old and doesn't have any asset, doesn't have mutual fund, doesn't have any stocks investment, doesn't have anything. It is scary. And you are 40. And some people are 50. They don't have a very robust stock portfolio. They don't even know what it is. They don't even know about real estate. They don't know about stock market. These are the things you learn during the Financial Fitness Challenge. We're enrolling now, and then there is the early bird of 105,000 naira for those in Nigeria, and then for outside $105. When you pay, you join my mentorship group, where you will be receiving some help, some limited conversations, and some worksheets that can help you to build your business, to grow your career, to grow your money, to grow your investments, pending when we have the 3-day Zoom plenaries. And people join from all parts of the world. Every time we have people joining from the US and from the UK. And then we've had people joining from Denmark. We have people joining from all parts of the world. So take advantage of this. After that, if you would like to be part of the next mentorship class for financial fitness, just DM me. Directly DM me for the enrollment details, and I'll send you that. All right. So, but meantime, whatever happens, keep showing up, because you have no idea what's coming your way next. And then I'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend.